countries.
We have Daniel Shaw, professor at City University of New York, with us. Mr. Shaw, in the wake of negativity and divisiveness and a peak in hate speech in the new United States, how should the American people get a true and objective understanding of current affairs?
We see more and more hate crimes in the United States every day, in the United States of Trump, in the Trump era. The mainstream media decries these hate crimes as if they were opposed to them, yet at the same time fuels the Islamophobia, fuels the anti-immigrant and anti-Mexican scapegoating. If the media was serious about striking out against racism and xenophobia and homophobia, the media could play an instrumental role in undoing really decades and centuries of backwardness and chauvinism in this country.
Some are of the opinion that Trump has adopted the imperial divide and rule policy to run the U.S. government and nation.
Age-old trick of the people in power to divide the American people, using white supremacy and using every type of chauvinism that you can imagine.
Trump, whose administration has been dogged by controversy after controversy, has a habit of blaming the fake news media for almost all his troubles.
CNN and MSNBC are fake news. Fake news. But I am only against the fake news media or press. Fake. But I am not an isolationist by any stretch of the imagination, so I don't know what newspaper you're reading, but I guess that would be another example of, as you say, fake news.
Although the Americans have traditionally had very low confidence in the mainstream media, the back-and-forth blame game has made it even more difficult for them to trust their elected officials and the media. Let's go back to Daniel Shaw. Daniel, what's your take on this?
Trump himself always critiques the quote-unquote fake news when he himself is the fakest of all fake news, constantly making up numbers and statements that are untrue. The media in the U.S. becomes more consolidated every day. There's really 6 media giants that have a monopoly over people's thoughts. The media in the U.S. becomes more consolidated every day. There's really 6 media giants that have a monopoly over people's thoughts. If you look at, for example, the radio stations in this country, 80 to 90% of the PlayStations are the same from one radio station to another, from one city to another. The movies that are considered Hollywood blockbusters are the same types of movies.
More on that to follow.
Many are now convinced that after so much negativity, misinformation, and hate speech, Trump will never be able to unite the nation behind him. In fact, he seems to be uniting the country against him.
So I'm now back in the studio with Ms.